So I wanted to share this book collection I recently came across. Now I did get it from an estate sale, but I am happy to get this. I'm lucky to get such an interesting complete collection. I'm going to get some of these to what I consider the right place. For example, these Unix books. I'm going to get to Bit History Museum, so bithistory.org, and Garrett's going to scan these in and get them uploaded. So a lot of these books are going to get recorded for posterity. Side note, at a recent Goodwill trip, got this excellent Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing sealed in the box. So very exciting. But yeah, these books are a little more in my wheelhouse and I find to be rather interesting. Except for the VP Planner stuff. Not so much on that. But these are interesting. The hard disk secrets and hard disk management books are probably something I could stand to read. And these interesting little upgrading your PC books. I slipped this one in, the 8088 assembler. And yeah, the Programmer's Guide to the IBM PC. Those are all really old school and interesting books. Let's take a look at one cover here. Look at that beauty. What year is this? 1984. Yeah. So that's super fun. And then we've got some of these DOS books, which I also slipped in a couple of these too, are mine. But the rest are from the collection. I have a lot of DOS 6.0 books and a 6.22. I really find, excuse me, thank you. I really find these basic books to be interesting. I'm not a basic wizard, don't know a ton about basic, which is maybe why I find these interesting. So a lot of little programs and things that you can write that I want to try, at least a couple of these books I want to take a closer look at. But yeah, these are all really early PC stuff. So basic primer for the IBM PC XT. At least they go up to the XT. My goodness. So, very interesting stuff. I found this book to be particularly interesting because it's so unassuming, and then you see, it's a Peter Norton book. Normally, this guy's face is plastered on everything. So I'm used to, Peter's Norton, so-and-so. And this is, the book plus Peter Norton. So, I think that's 1984. That's a very early Peter Norton book. I think that business got started in 1982. I think the first manual he wrote was in 1983. So I don't know, very interesting to me. And I am not one to pick up a book on Word of all things, but these are 1986. So that's right in line with my Tandy 1000. So I'm not a big database guy. Those are probably going somewhere. But these CD-ROM books are interesting. The New Papyrus. I'll have to double check the date, but that's the 80s. That's before CD-ROMs caught on by far. And of course, a good How the Internet Works book is always amusing. The Just Say No to Microsoft book I actually found pretty interesting. They got into early editions of Linux and Mac and all sorts of open source stuff, but the opening also praises Gary Kildall, which I'm always a fan of. I think they list him as the true inventor of DOS or the true creator of DOS or something. So yeah, fun books there. I also have, see, a couple of MS-DOS 5.0 stuff, a little 6.0. And next time you feel useless, think of this DOS 4.0 instructional book. Yeah, I don't think I'm holding on to that. But I also find the SpinRite stuff interesting. I'm new to SpinRite, and I am told it is an excellent resource. So I'm going to hang on to this for a bit and see what I can't glean from it. We've got 3.1. We've got the discs in here too. So I have Spinrite 2 with the discs and this pretty nifty book. So I'm actually going to pour into that one and see what I can't learn about hard drives, because those keep failing on us, don't they? And a couple other interesting books. I did set aside some of my favorites, though. So for this, let me try to get both hands going. Bear with me. Keyboard cables, man, I prepared for this, didn't I? Let's take a look at some of the software that I got. The award to most interesting box, I think, goes to this guy right here. So, an uninstaller, hard drive cleaner. I think this picture paints 1,000 words. So, that's just for fun packaging alone, I'm holding on to that one. And it's a little JPEG viewer or image viewer for Windows 3.1 and Windows 95. I got a couple of PKZip programs. That's kind of fun. Early zip software. Still got some cellophane on that one. The little ones are interesting. The Computers at Work. That's a fun color booklet, and I like the illustrations in here. There's some early space program stuff. So I think this is, well, it is a series. This must be number 34. And yeah, early 70s, I think 1969, 71 is the copyright on that. So that's fun. I think I just like the cover on that. This looks so aggressively 60s. And one of my favorites, I think, is this Micro Millennium. And who doesn't love a book of predictions from 1979? Can you predict when ultra-intelligent machines will be set loose to solve the world's problems? Well, they do overpredict the emergence of AI quite a bit, but some of these others, when children's dolls and mechanical toys will respond to their owner's spoken word. When the average doctor will carry a pocket-sized diagnostic aid. Well, they still use computers in my experience, but we do have cell phones. Accident-proof vehicles, interesting. And lawn-cutting robots. A serious problem that needs solving. This is, gosh, 1964, 5. So these are really still teaching what slide rules and abacuses and bones? I don't know. That's a lost art. I've never seen anyone using anything like that. But yeah, that's an interesting book on computing in the 60s. Now for the grand finale here, I've got a couple of my favorites. So being out of Oregon, I don't know, surprised, I guess, at the amount of books and information and, I don't know, just the technology that was coming out of Oregon at the time. So I love the Oregon references, but in particular, this thing's a lot of fun. So a very specific to Portland computing guide. You gotta take a look. This thing gets into, now it's 1973, it gets into BBSs, it gets into computer clubs, it gets into the best places to buy computers. Oh, this is a wonderful, wonderful little piece of history. So, you want to know who's running the Apple group or the Commodore group? There you go. And I like the Apple Portland Program Library Exchange. I like the discounts for joining the clubs. You get free discs. think this is documented somewhere. I think it's scanned in. But I'm having a lot of fun flipping through this thing. The Atari Club, TSR-80 group, and the BBSs. I'm really fascinated by the BBS section. I kind of am tempted to see if I can trace any of these down, see what happened to them, if any of them got preserved. Wouldn't that be fun? So I don't know, this book might deserve its own video. Maybe I can pour over that sometime, but a very interesting piece of history here, along with this whole collection. So that's it. I am curious what books caught your eye. Which ones would you want to take a look at if you had this collection? In the meantime, I have a lot of books to put away, so thank you for watching.